Hello everyone, welcome to match 11 of the HBL Pakistan Super League, and the fans are coming in their droves. It's a packed house, amazing atmosphere because it is a big clash between two of the heavyweights of PSL. There's some fine players, Multan Sultans versus Karachi Kings. They face off for the first time in the history of the Pakistan Super League here at Sharjah Cricket Stadium. And just the weather at the moment, just a little bit gloomy. Should be all right to start on time. Wasim Akram, he's got plenty of left arm fast bowlers to mentor for Multan. Toss, the coin going up. Danny Morrison hosting that one. And the Karachi Kings, the captain, Imad Wasim, winning the toss and deciding to have a hit. Comfortable that it looks a very, very good pitch there. And Karoom Manzir and Joe Denley opening up. They've done a pretty good job so far. Babar Azam at number 3 needs a few runs. Colin Ingram, Bopara, the imports have been fantastic. Muhammad Amir is back in the team, so what a threat that's going to be. Irfan Jr. Tom Moody been really good in those closing overs, the English fast bowler. And for Multan, Kumar Sangakkara started off with a flyer. He's probably hitting him as well as he's ever hit it in T20 cricket. Shazad up the top there, needs some runs. Darren Bravo at number 3. It's a long batting lineup, really. Shoaib Malik's been in good form. Corin Pollard just floats around that middle order. And then there's plenty of potency with the ball. Tanveer, Junaid Khan, who took a hat-trick, Muhammad Irfan, and Imran Tahir. He's a brilliant leg spinner. He's getting wickets for fun. And the crowd are loving his celebrations where he gets the wicket, he goes on a 40 or 50 metre sprint. And just the points table, see Karachi Kings on top, undefeated. And just there at third is Multan Sultans. Not a lot of changes with these two teams, so just shows how comfortable they are, the coaching staff and the leaders, with the list that they've got. And generally teams that go on to win T20 competitions don't make a lot of changes throughout the tournament. Unfortunately, the covers are coming on, which is unfortunate because we're joined here by Michael Slater and Rameez Raja. And Rameez, you were down there at the pitch. It looks like finally we've got a traditional Sharjah pitch.
Yeah, I mean, it had everything, shine and gloss, and the cracks were gone, so it looks great for batting, except for the weather. Where is this weather coming from? Yeah, it's a shame because the stage is set for some great cricket, full house, Sharjah pitch. And so umpires really will have to decide whether it's a pitch threatening situation here with the weather, or it's just a passing shower. At times in such areas where you do not experience a lot of rain, even a little drizzle can cause a concern, and I think they've been overly concerned and overly cautious by this bit of drizzle, but I'm sure the weather will clear and we'll have a great contest. It's not looking too good. More covers around the square.
Well, there was plenty of highlights last night. Peshawar Zelmi getting home, and it was the inspirational captain who had some troubles with the ball. It's actually a no ball because there was too many fielders outside the circle. And Sammy, well, he was happy. He celebrated early with that one, getting out Kevin Peterson, the big wicket. Just see here, as he's gathering, he felt like something went in his knee. So he had to walk out, or limp out. First ball, bang, 6. Last over, again, another 6. And he finishes with a boundary straight down the ground. Guys, seen a lot of cricket. That was right up there for inspiration.
Flemo, I was on the boundary commentating the end of that, and that was so exciting. And we knew that he was in trouble because he was limping, hopping. He couldn't take the single, and only if it went to the man in the deep. but he got the length. He got two really full balls and he got a really short ball, which allowed him to play those shots. So the length wasn't right. What a performance, though. Courageous.
Yeah, it's difficult now for Zalmi to lose games because of that one great performance from captain. Because you see, you always, you know, in a dugout, when you're having a huddle, you always recall that moment where your captain walked in and he said, right, I'm injured, I'm 50% fit or even less, but I still have got the guts really to deliver the punch. And so that's a great recall moment for the Zalmis when they go out there in a tight situation. Just look what your captain did. So we've got to rally around that man and deliver.
Yeah, definitely. And Quetta Gladiators, 141 for 8. At times they would have felt like they were home, weren't they? But Dwayne Smith, 23 off 14, accelerated. But Shane Watson had a pretty good game, 47 off 32 and just the one wicket. Mick, but what it says, I think, for the culture of the team, they're the reigning champs, and they'll get a fair bit out of that, Mick.
Yeah, look, always a great duel between those teams, but we saw a pattern of play that we're seeing consistently, though, where a side is on track in a run chase. That 140 total, or just slightly above, is a hard run chase, but it's a chase you can achieve. A lot has to go right, but what we're noticing is that back 10 overs is a lot harder to bat. So the initial 10, I'm not sure that they're going hard enough in the initial 10 just yet to try and do most of the damage, change the nature of batting to get over 150. But yeah, it showed great spirit within the team. It showed great courage from the leader. I just hope we're going to see him again in the HBL PSL, because he was really in trouble. He's got an MRI scan today, and I really hope that it comes out positively.
We've had some great fielding in this year's HBL PSL. Best percentage of catches in the league. And this is how it started. The league with Junaid Khan diving full length and holding on to a low catch. The anticipation was brilliant, and especially if you're a fast bowler, you don't expect such thrilling moments, but how things have changed. And this really was remarkable shot from Shahid Afridi. We're talking about a 37-year-old guy. Have a look at him, jumping up in the air and having the presence of mind to throw the ball back into play. Then the celebrations began and the fun continued.
It's just highlights, aren't they? That's an incredible dive. Timing it and then making sure the ball doesn't spill. You know, when you land on your elbows, a great celebration. There's another one. Sheikh, the young leg spinner, he wanted it, didn't he? As soon as it was the top edge, I think that was his first wicket in the Pakistan Super League.
Yeah, brilliant catch, running backwards. We know it's always very difficult. Anwar Ali, he's been sensational in the field. Just the other night, he got rid of Tamim Iqbal with a brilliant run out and running backwards and holding on to that one. Another beauty.
I've loved it. I've loved to see the improvement, and I say improvement because we can go back to Pakistan fielding in the past and be a little critical about catches that should have been taken going down. But what we're noticing, and the overseas players are involved as well, but Hafiz there, those chances that are difficult are being taken 80-odd, 90% of the time. And it's so crucial. We're seeing some good run-outs as well. That throw from the boundary last night, that run out towards the end, was just incredible also. And then we've got the teamwork on the boundary rope. See more and more of that, don't we?
Shahid Afridi, 17-year-old, but 6'7", and palming it to his partner. And that was sensational piece of fielding at point. You can't get tired watching this over and over again, time and time again. Joe Denley with a breathtaking catch.
And what about this? This was off the no ball, so Watson wasn't walking back. It was a free hit, but that was as good as the one before it. Full length dive, got to move, it's got to stick. Perfect.
Still saved forward, didn't it? It was excellent catch, but just the general standard has been outstanding, and this graphic will say that just this year, the Pakistan Super League 2018, 90% catch success. And you look just down at 6th position, the Big Bash 2017-18. So there's actual tournaments below that is 78%. So that's a great graphic to show the standard of catching in this tournament.
Well, the ball is hit with such velocity often in this form of the game that you expect a few to go down. But the Big Bash this last instalment, that's low, 78%. That to me indicates bad fielding, and we've got brilliant fielding right here, right now, which makes commentary so much fun because you're always up and you're calling these brilliant outfield catches, ring catches.
You talked about this last night. This was amazing, and Anwar Ali has thrown himself around everywhere, taking great catches, but that, I'm trying to think, from a big fast bowler, that's as a good run out as I've ever seen.
Yeah, I mean, he's built like a rubber because he got up first, it was a slide, and then recovery, and then the throw on the bounce to the keeper who didn't have to move at all. I mean, this was another great piece of fielding. We have only talked about good catches. That really demonstrates the overall standard, you know, that the fielding stops and the run out chances taken.
And Ramesh, at the time, I felt that was going to win them the match. I thought that fielding was a real another twist in the tail, and the fielding side were going to get up after that. It was just through Darren Sammy and maybe the wrong lengths being bowled, but the brilliance of Sammy at the end.
Yeah, sometimes those moments you were talking about Sammy in the end, well, that will be the moment for Zelmi, but definitely Anwar Ali, I just thought with that sort of spark, and you'll be talking about the coaches will be using that example, which they'd still use after a defeat, just to show that's the sort of intensity we need in the field. It creates uncertainty with the running between the wickets, and if you can take 90% of your catches, get a run out every game, I think you're going to win most games.
Well, a couple of things have happened for the better in the Pakistan dressing room and in sort of domestic circuit, is that a lot of these players are now playing regular T20 league, so they need to be absolutely fit. And I think there's this general culture that is developing under Mickey Arthur, where he's so big on fitness. And I think because of most of these players being fit, it has allowed them to then pounce on half chances and look good in the field.
Yeah, totally agree, and I had that chat with Mickey himself, and I think it's as blunt as if your fielding's not up to scratch, you're not playing for your country. He brings that attitude and culture into the Kings, and then all the other overseas coaches. It's not to say the Pakistan coaches don't hold that passion for fielding as well, but I think the different cultures, the different ways, the different fitness regimes is helping Pakistan cricket tremendously from something like the PSL.
Okay, we'll take a break. Hopefully some good news after that, and we'll get into some cricket action.
Well, this is a rare sight indeed to see the covers on here in Sharjah at the cricket stadium. I think it was only last year where we said it was the first time we had a complete washout last year. Hello, he's going some. And that was the first time in 32 years that we'd had a complete washout. That was last year. The forecast is just for some dull overcast conditions, but at the moment there's just enough rain for those covers to be on. You can see a couple of specks on our camera lens right there. So it's altogether a little bit disappointing because we've got two of the biggest sides right here. Two of the more stable sides, because Multan have only changed one player or two players, and the same goes for Karachi Kings as well. But as we speak, the covers look as if, I'm not sure, they're coming off. I got Danny Morrison alongside. Danny, you've been coming here for years. How often have you seen this in Sharjah?
Tell you what, 1998, boys were telling me a little bit of that, but I tell you, in a test match, more recent, in 2011, and it was Sri Lanka here, and the dear late great A.W. Gregg, he couldn't believe it either, because Tony Gregg had been coming here for some time in Sharjah, and the test match was held up for a session in a little bit, but they ended up playing the rest of the day. But you're right, we had that washout last year, which is unique to say the least, and very annoying, because this is the place where you think, you know, you don't get rain, just get on with the game.
Yeah.
And it's a Friday and it's almost a full house.
The problem is when you get a little drizzle like this, is that you're watching at home and you're saying, there we are, we've got that. Okay, so you're probably saying, well, why can't they go out there and play? The problem is, because of the level of intensity and physical commitment that you see from the modern player in this kind of cricket, you immediately would have areas around the square where the grass is short. It can become, I won't say dangerous, but prone to the occasional accident, because, Danny, you know, the spikes can go on a damp surface. And
well, we've already had Rahman Rees. That's been really frustrating, because the rain that's been around and the turf that was dug up from Rahman when he landed like that. I've seen Big Darren Sammy landed with some guys in the outfield here already take the turf up a little bit.
And plus the fact that the ball itself, it's going to get wet too soon. So at the moment, that's what we've got. Oh, is that who's that? Who have we got there? Oh, that is Mohammed Amir. Now, Danny, there we are, you're on, Mohammed.
Go on as opening batter, you can strike. Pinch hitting.
So at the moment, it's the players. Karachi, Karachi, we know have won. Karachi have won the toss, and we know that they're batting first. That's one thing that Imad Wasim has done 3 times. But we've sent Michael Slater down there. Slats is down there. Let's join Slats.
Good on you, Al. Yeah, I'm down here and I've got the coach of the Multan Sultans. Obviously the first instalment for them in the PSL. They've started fantastically well. Tom Moody, my great mate, well done, mate. You're coaching them beautifully. You've got a really well-balanced team.
Yeah, look, so far so good, but it's, you know, obviously early parts of the tournament. As you said, it's a new franchise, new team. Players are just getting familiar with each other and understanding each other's games. So, you know, we know that we've got some hard work ahead of us and some tough competition, because as you've seen so far, the standard in this tournament is a high standard, and it's challenging at times as well, because the conditions do present, you know, various challenges. We've seen some wickets that, you know, teams have had to navigate themselves around, you know, challenging conditions, and hopefully, you know, certainly over the next couple of games we play here in Sharjah, we can do that.
The pitches have been great, but it seems to me that first 10 overs is the real going 10 overs, and then it starts to be a bit more normal batting to get that 150 total, and I'm not sure teams are in sync with that yet.
Yeah, I think it really depends, one, your opponent, what their strengths are, and two, the balance of your side. You know, there's some teams that do have the likes of, you know, the McCullums of the world up front that like to express themselves early on and take the game on, and there's others like, you know, the Kumar Sangakaras of the world that will sit in the game a bit longer and blossom as the innings unfolds. And I think it's really important to play your game to your strengths. There's no point playing a certain brand of cricket that doesn't suit the personnel that you've got in your side. I'm a big believer of letting players play to their strengths and encouraging them to play to their strengths and giving them the platform to do that, whether it be a practice or on match day.
You've coached all around the world, you've commentated all around the world, which probably helps the coaching in a certain way. But in terms of what you're seeing with Pakistan cricketers, we've been overwhelmed by the fielding. 90% of catches have been taken, and when we look at all the competitions in the last year, that's at the top at this stage. So there's a real distinct push for the fielding to improve, and we're seeing that.
Well, from a coach's point of view, it's as important discipline as the batting and the bowling, and I think that has been over time has been ignored. But what we've seen as we've seen the evolution of T20 cricket, we've seen the spotlight and the faces watching the game. There's millions of people out there watching the game and critiquing the game, and also not only teams but individuals. And if you're a player that lacks physical intensity, lacks skill in the field, whether you can't move particularly well, left, right, throw well, catch well, that's going to be highlighted and it's going to be exposed. And I think young players coming through the system now, they know that it's a must to have as part of their kit bag is to, number one, bat or bowl well, or do both of them well if you're an all-rounder, but also step up in the field and be someone that can be relied upon. Because ultimately, again, wearing my coach's hat, that can be the difference between picking a player and not picking a player. Is if you're tossing up between player A and B, if someone's slightly better in the field, you're always going to go for the better fielder, because it could save you 5 runs, and 5 runs in T20 cricket is significant.
My word, Moods, I'm going to do something very different here, because I want you to feel the difference, because my neck's starting to get sore. So I want you to feel what I have to do when I interview you guys all the time. So now, right back at you.
Okay, no, that's fine.
All right.
It's interesting you're in this position, because for the first time in my life, I've had to be involved with, and whether it be a playing point of view or a coaching point of view, a player that is taller than me. Mohammad Irfan, come on down. My God. Number one, what a wonderful bloke he is. Terrific. And this is the beauty of coaching in this environment where, it's a completely different culture, new competition, meeting new people, seeing the differences in how people prepare and what they do socially and all those type of things. But Mohammad Irfan, what a fabulous story he is. For one, factory worker that was found and now turned into a terrific cricketer, and he's bowled beautifully with us, for us so far. But that aside, I'm having to do this to him. How ridiculous is that?
No, but there's a shift, isn't there? They always say if you're looking down on people, have greater authority. All of a sudden, I've gone for a timid interviewer to feeling like I'm all over you.
Yeah, you are all over me, but you've always been all over me, Slats. That hasn't changed, whether it was bat in hand or just socially, you've always held the upper hand, and I'm comfortable with that. And that's why normally when I'm socialising with you, I'd sit on a stool.
Yes, that's right.
Because I know you're going to dominate.
Now, we're waiting for you to come out in the suit as the coach. Are you going to don the suit and have further authority that way?
It's not really my style. Look, I admire those that choose to go that pathway. But yeah, look, I get, I did hear the management, the Islamabad management talking about their reasoning behind that, and I quite respect what their reasoning was, and that is they feel that the coaching role is a serious role. We see it in other codes, and I think you may have donned, a couple of the coaches, or particularly one of the coaches, there's Alex Ferguson.
Yes, that's right.
But look, I get it, but it's not for me at the moment, and it's going to take a while to get that suit made up, because I need extra long length and everything else that goes with it when you buy a suit when you're my size.
Well, you get them tailored beautifully over here. And just finally, a serious one in terms of culturally, you've got the Pakistan dominance in these teams, and then you might have the West Indian, you've got the Australian. Bringing that group together, how hard is that?
To me, that's the fun part of coaching in franchise cricket, is having a diverse dressing room. Just give you a simple example. You know, we had to come down early today, which is fine because today is an important prayer day. Yes. So it's respecting that there's a significant number of players within the squad that need to do their prayer, so we allow that time. There's obviously a number of other players that that don't have that, you know, same religious belief, and they're doing something else. So to me, you know, that type of cultural difference is really exciting, and also learning from each other, not only from the cultural point of view, learning from each other from a cricketing point of view. And we're lucky to have a lot of experience in our dressing room, the likes of Imran Tahir, you got Sangakkara, you got Pollard. There's a lot of international experience, and you've got your local players like our captain Shoaib Malik's been around and been one of the finest T20 players around the circuit for many, many years. To getting those guys, and for me it's like just starting little fires. You know, if I can start a little fire in a corner where a conversation is being had with those type of players around some younger players, I feel I've done my job. And those guys are more than happy to share their knowledge and experience in any sort of environment.
Mate, they're very lucky to have you. Well done on the start. Big day today, a bit frustrating, and I'm going to treasure this moment looking down on the tall Tom Moody, about 6'8", and I'm standing at 7'2" right now. Thank you, buddy. Before we go back up, I just want to show you what's happening weather-wise. And we've still got a little sprinkle, and the real sign for me is how much I feel it on this part of my head. And there's still a little bit of rain. The problem we've got right now is we've got the full covers down. Got the umpires out here having a chat about the conditions. I believe you could start in this rain right now. But while there's a few sprinkles, covers down, they seldom bring them up. But full covers, won't take them long to remove them. So if these little sprinkly specks stop, then we will get underway, and we'll get underway quickly. Once they start, if it just sprinkles like this, they'll be able to keep going. But that was a nice chat. It gives you an understanding why Tom Moody is so well respected as a coach.
Yeah, he certainly is. And of course, the brand of Tom Moody is all across the world. And he's won in India, you know, with the Sunrisers. He is now with Multan Sultans. He has won in Bangladesh. Danny Morrison, where else is he?
He's in the Caribbean Premier League, but he's in a different role there. It's interesting because he does a little bit of television, but he's in a directorship role there with those that run the Caribbean Premier League. And he cross paths and he transcends different areas within T20 franchise cricket.
Yeah. So just to give you an idea, those of you who are wondering, are we going to lose time here? We won't lose overs until 4:10 local time, and it's 7 minutes to 4 now. From 4:10, I believe I'm right in saying that, we will start to lose overs, lose time. There's Shanira Akram. Hello, Shanira.
This is Akram in town.
So there we are. It's 15:55 right now, and you know, we'll keep an eye on the clock, obviously. But it is frustrating because it's a short game anyway, so if you have a 15-over game, that puts a lot of pressure on bowlers. In fact, let me ask Danny Morrison that. If we had a 15-over, that's not Danny Morrison, by the way. He's sitting next to me. That's a proper moustache right there. What do you reckon?
Haircut too.
I think we should, you know, Flairmost here is.
Would you like to start? Was it Movember? A bit early for Movember. Getting out of the blocks early. We could do. Al.
Danny, who's to put pressure on? If you had a 15-over game or a 12-over game, who's the pressure on? Bowlers or batters?
Oh, it's always going to be on the bowlers, and targeting. The shorter you get that, they're going to come at you. We played a 10-10 here not very long ago, so that was December last year, and so you do say, oh, they're going to go from the get-go and smash it, but there's still time to have the odd dot ball, even in 10-10. Okay, 15 overs as opposed to T20, but it's always going to be the bowler under the pump.
Yeah. Okay, let's go down to Slats again. Slats, all yours.
All right, here we go. I'm just going to come in here and railroad the cool umpires. How are we looking, Alim?
So far, so good. And the drizzle just stopped, and we are removing the covers. And hopefully, we stop. If there's no drizzle, within the next 15 minutes, we'll start.
Yeah, look, it won't take long at all. There's not much water sitting on top of the ground here. It will drain anyway. I mean, there's the occasional spit of rain, but if we get underway with just a little bit, you'll be able to stay out here, I imagine.
Main worries when the consistent drizzles, we main worried about our scare.
Yes.
So there's no grass on it. Yep. So if there is consistent rain, or drizzle, so it's very, very dangerous for the players.
Yeah, okay. So if we get these up, we'll be underway very quickly, say 15, 20 minutes?
I hope so. Hope so. Yeah, we are going for it. We are putting off the covers and hope so we will have a game after 15 to 20 minutes. Hope so.
HBL PSL, it's going well.
Very good, so far so good.
It is. It's a good tournament, isn't it? We're seeing some great standards, and particularly that fielding. I'm just overwhelmed with how...
Yes, fielding is amazing, I think. And the players, they're doing their best, I think. It's good for Pakistan and for Pakistan cricket.
Fantastic. You keep up your standard as well. It's brilliant.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thanks for your time. So the rope's going around the outfield. That's just to take any surface water off. It's just to help the fielders. There's not much sitting here anyway, but underway shortly. Underway shortly.
Well, let's hope so. This is the Sharjah rope trick right there. And it does work, actually. It does work. And when you get some dew or some light rain, this is an exercise that just takes the excess off the top of the grass. Right, here we go. We're going to dance our way to a little commercial break here, in sync, in tandem, and in colour.